What's going on, everyone? It's Jack here from Tech. Hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're talking about Google I/O, more specifically Google Duplex. So I want to give you guys my thoughts on it. I'm first going to tell you guys what it is, and then I'll explain kind of what I think about it. But basically, Google I/O just happened last week. They announced some new Android P stuff, and within that was a new feature within Google Assistant called Google Duplex. And it wasn't really talked about that much at the event, but it was definitely talked about a lot after the event by two polarizing different opinions on it. So some people are like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And some people are like, this is terrible. This is like the end of humanity, worst thing ever. So I want to basically explain what it is. I'm going to show you guys a little example of it from the Google I/O presentation and then give you guys my overall thoughts on it. I think this is kind of interesting because as a younger person in the tech field, I definitely was always kind of exposed to technology from a really young age, so I've kind of grown up with technology, which will definitely give me a different opinion than someone who was introduced to technology later in their life. So I think that's kind of interesting, and that might kind of change my opinion on it, but let's get into it. So Google Duplex is basically this behavior within Google Assistant where they've kind of made Google Assistant better to the point where it's able to kind of imitate a human, call different places, and act as if it's a human with a human voice, human mannerisms and intonations in its voice, and kind of make the other person on the other end believe that it's a human by using things like and other things that the robot definitely does not have to say, but does say to make it more believable and more cohesive. The examples that they showed was like booking a reservation for a hair appointment or a table at a restaurant. So I'm going to show you guys the hair appointment reservation because this one kind of blew me away.
So how can I help you?
Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd.
Sure, give me 1 second. Sure, what time are you looking for around?
At 12 p.m.
We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15.
Do you have anything between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.?
Depending on what service she would like. What service is she looking for?
Just a woman's haircut for now.
Okay, we have a 10 o'clock.
10 a.m. is fine.
Okay, what's her first name?
The first name is Lisa.
Okay, perfect. So I will see Lisa at 10 o'clock on May 3rd.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Great. Have a great day. Bye.
Okay, so did you see how in that the Google Assistant was able to say which makes it sound like it's a person on the other end, and also the voice did not sound robotic in the least. It was very fluid. It was able to respond to people, so different reactions, so it has responses depending on what the person says, so it kind of works off of that. So something at Google I/O that Google announced that the Assistant is already going to have is the ability to keep up a conversation without having to say, hey Google, every time. You're just going to be able to have the natural flow of a conversation, which makes it feel more human-like. And that's bringing it over to Google Duplex as well. So the Assistant is able to call on your behalf. It goes on in the background and it updates you once it finishes. So let's say you say, I want a hair appointment for 2 p.m. It's going to call up, it's going to make the hair appointment. In this scenario that you guys just watched, it couldn't get the 2 p.m. one, so it asked for other times and it was able to book the 10 p.m. one. And it works and you don't have to do anything. So it's basically like having your own assistant at your fingertips. So when I first saw that, I was really impressed. The other example that they showed was this. This is basically a guy version of the assistant calling up a restaurant.
See how may I help you?
Hi, I'd like to reserve a table for Wednesday the 7th.
For 7 people?
It's for 4 people.
4 people when?
Next Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Oh, actually we reserve for like after like 5 people. For 4 people you can come.
How long is the wait usually to be seated?
For when, tomorrow or weekday or?
For next Wednesday, the 7th.
Oh no, it's not too busy. You can come for 4 people, okay?
Oh, I gotcha. Thanks.
Bye bye.
Alright, so in this one, the important note is that he says, in the beginning. He does not need to say that, as I've already said, but it's these little small things which make it more believable. So when I first saw these two things, I was like, shoot, this is like amazing. You have your own assistant, you don't pay anything for it, right? It does it all in the background, it updates you when it's done. It's able to take one thing off your plate. So for a really busy person that has a lot of stuff going on, it seems really good, right? And within this small little tunnel, it is really good, but what if it's able to do other things? Like, what if robocallers are able to use this now? So when people answer the phone, they think that they're talking to a person. What if the person on the other end wants to know that they're talking to a robot? Well, the second one, Google actually answered shortly after the event, and they said that it will notify the person on the other end that they're talking to a robot. So, cool, but like it doesn't make it. I don't know how I feel about that in terms of the technology standpoint. I don't know if people are going to react differently when they know that they're talking to a robot. And then the other thing that I saw a lot of people commenting is, what if the salon has a Google Assistant pick up the phone? So it's just like two assistants talking to each other. It kind of gets crazy, and this is definitely an early development. It's not going to come out soon, but initially I thought it was pretty cool, but then I started reading some other stuff on Twitter where it was like, artificial intelligence is going to get so much better, and it's going to eventually like take over the human race, and that's actually like a genuine concern. People are afraid that artificial intelligence is going to take people's jobs. This is like the more far in the future one, but it's going to start getting smarter than humans. And we see like all these movies where like artificial intelligence has taken over. And a lot of people are saying that this is a first step to that actually happening. So when you think about that, that's a little creepy. But within this tunnel, and I'm saying within this tunnel because once it expands outside of that, things can start getting a little dicey. But within this tunnel, this is a giant feat for technology. And I just can't believe that Google was able to do that. But to what point does it end? Like, a couple years ago, when Siri or Google Assistant was able to answer a math problem, we'd be like, that's really useful. I could be like, what's 2 plus 2? And it would say, hey, it's 4. And that was really useful. But now it's making calls for you. It's imitating a human's voice. I don't know, like, to what point does it stop? Because this is really still early in artificial intelligence's revolution, and all these companies that we see, all the major tech brands, are really pushing artificial intelligence. You see it at almost every single major keynote at this point. So when does the innovation stop? When does it get to a point where we're like, all right, like this is too far? Like, my good friend Carl Conrad just interviewed this robot that kind of looks like a human, and it's still in early development, but it was able to keep up a conversation and respond to things. And you should go check out that video. I'm going to link it below if I remember. But it's things like that where it's like, when do we get to a point where artificial intelligence really gets to its point before it starts knowing more than humans? It starts having emotions. We have to start thinking about laws and other things like that. Like, when does it get too far? I don't know. I want to know your thoughts on artificial intelligence. I want to know if you're happy about this, really concerned about this, if you just don't care. I polled people on Twitter, and it seemed like a lot of my followers were actually really happy with this, and they were excited to see it, and Android P as a whole. Android P got a major design overhaul with gesture controls, and Google Assistant is becoming more and more an integral part of the Android P experience, so I'm excited to see that. I'm also excited a little bit to see the Google Assistant. For someone that doesn't have a lot of time, it is a cool thing to see, as long as it stays within this tunnel. Probably said within this tunnel like 100 times. I don't even know if that's the right phrase. But yeah, I want to hear your thoughts, so let me know in a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching this quick one. You're going to want to smash the like button if you enjoyed it. I have a lot of other content soon, and some other big news coming very soon. Hopefully, I can share it with you guys then. Thank you guys all so much for watching. You want to subscribe right here so don't miss any other content, and check out my other content right here. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Bye.